Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I am Witch and today we are going to be doing a makeup tutorial for Marinette from Miraculous Ladybug. I have my spooky backdrop up because it's really close to Halloween and I've got a convention this weekend, so this video is going to be up a little bit early. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my contacts in. Marinette has very blue eyes, so I've got some very blue contacts. Pro tip, wear contact lenses to cover up your depression. I'm not crying, I just put contacts in. So these contacts are called Underworld and they're from Primal. My first step I'm actually not going to film because it is just my concealer, foundation, and powder routine. Everybody has a different way of doing this, so I just leave it up to you guys to figure out how you want to do it. You can use your own products, but I am going to show you what products that I'm going to be using just to give you a recommendation if you need it. The first thing that I'm going to be using is the Tarte foundation that is fair. And then I'm going to be using the Born This Way concealer in Cloud. And then the Born This Way powder in Cloud. Both of these are by Too Faced. So I'm going to do that and then I'll be back. I am back and I have my face on. After I do that, I'm just going to put some lip chap on. I'm just using Burt's Bees. So from that, we are going to go right into doing our contouring. I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills contouring palette and a floofy brush. I'm going to be using one of these two dark colors. They're pretty much the same shade. I just use whichever one my hand goes to. For Marinette, I actually do a pretty dark contour. I just do it right there and make it into a 3 shape. I don't know why I do a dark contour for her. I just find that it suits her. I also have really horrible bone structure, so I need all the help that I can get. See, some would say that's a little bit too dark, but I'm also wearing a wig over it, so I really only need it to be like a shadow. Try and keep our makeup as symmetrical as possible. So because I don't have bone structure and I have the world's biggest double chin, I am going to put a nice line down the center of my neck. It helps create the illusion that you have a longer neck. So that's it for my face contour. And now I'm going to get a flat brush like this and I'm going to contour my nose. So for this one, I like to use the middle contour. It's a little bit lighter, so it doesn't show up quite as dark. So, like always, right from the brow bone down. My contour is pretty much the same for all characters that I cosplay. I like my nose shaped a certain way. Everybody has a different shaped face and everybody knows what works best with their face, so I'm not expecting you to keep like exact to this, which is why I'm just kind of going through it. Eating my hair and it tastes not good. And I always put a little contour on the bottom of my nose just because it makes your nose look a little more animated. I think. I'll look back on this in 2 years and be like, I don't know why anybody ever let me do that, but for now, I like it, so that's all that matters. So from the nose contouring, we're going to go right into our eyebrows. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in Ebony. I take both the top and the pod itself and a nice flat thin brush. I put a little makeup on it and then wipe it off in the lid just to make sure that my brush is as thin as it can possibly be. And then I go in, I make my line straight across the bottom, and then I work my way up in very gentle strokes. I also do a little bit of a thick brow for Marinette. I have naturally really thick eyebrows anyway. Sometimes I shave them off, sometimes I leave them long, but even if they were shaved off, I'd still probably do a pretty dark brow for her. And my eyebrows are actually going to be covered with the mask that I'm going to paint on, but this is just a step for people who are going to be cosplaying just Marinette because I do the same makeup for both. Way up. And I am going to be covering in my shaven bit, just because she doesn't seem like the type of character to have it. And like I say in every video, one of my eyebrows always comes out a lot better than the other. The one I'm working on now always comes out nicer. Alright, so now I'm going to take my my concealer and a nice little brush, and then I'm just going to put some makeup on it and do a nice little line under my brow. Just like that. I'm going to do the same thing, put a little bit above the brow, and I would maybe not use as much as I just did because that's a lot. Same on the other side. Alright, the eyebrows are done. So from the eyebrows we are going to go straight into eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is my favorite part, as most people know. For this one I'm going to be using the Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette. I'm really just praying that everything that I film is in focus because I can't wear my glasses while I film a makeup tutorial, so I'm also going to be using my fluffy Anastasia Beverly Hills blending brush. I swear by this brush. And I'm also going to be using this one here. It is called Cookie Call. Really, any like dark-ish brown will work. Just work with what you have. I don't expect people to go out and buy like special makeup to do these kinds of looks. So just put a little bit of brush or a little bit of makeup on the brush, tap it off. This is a pretty dark color, so we want to start off with a little bit and slowly build our way up. So just dab the color on very gently. I'm going to wipe my brush off, and then I'm going to do little drags to drag the makeup into the center. I feel like that is too bright. Let's turn the brightness down a little tiny bit. It should be good. Okay, so little circles on the corner and then drag the makeup in. Little circles, very good. Want to keep it nice and even as we can get it. Obviously use however much you think is a good amount for your eye. Everybody's eyes are shaped differently, so you might need a little more, a little less depending on the shape of your eye. You'll know your face better than I know your face. So I like to put it in my crease and a little bit on my brow bone. Nice little circles. Then I'm going to take the other side and I'm just going to drag some of the makeup through my bottom lid. Just like that. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go in with the Extra Spicy, which is kind of an orangey color. It's nice and like fallish. I'm going to put a little bit on my brush, tap my brush off, and then put that in the corner and slowly dab it towards the center. I'm going to wipe my brush off once a decent amount has been applied, and then I'm going to do little circles to blend it into the other color. Alrighty. I'm going to go back to Cookie Call, take a little tiny bit, darken up the corner above that until I get the right consistency that I'm looking for. It looks pretty dark, but I promise you it is going to look nice. So after we do the orange, I'm going to take the Lick the Spoon, which is a little bit shiny, and the flat end of my brush, and I'm going to put some on it and just apply a little bit to underneath my brow. Go back to the other side. Make sure you wipe the brush off because you don't want to transfer the colors. And then I'm going to do that. It's very nice. It's a little Disney-like. I like it. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go to my other eye and I'm going to do the same thing and I will be back. So both eyes are now finished and I'm going to go in and do the eyeliner. I use the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. I get a lot of comments on my eyeliner skills and how I get it to apply so easily. I promise it is not as easy as it looks. I make it look a lot easier than it is. I sometimes do mess up and have to start over, so keep that in mind. I'm going to do a wing for her. Start where you think it should be. Pull in after you connect it. And then fill in the color. My biggest tip would to say to use your eyelashes as a guide when you're trying to fill in the lid, the top of the lid. Just start at the tip of your lash and slowly drag down and just dab the pen. Then we're going to go underneath, and we're going to bring the color in just a little bit right here. There we go. And now we're gonna go do the other eye. I will be back. Okay, so both eyes are finished, and now we are gonna do some blush. So for my blush, personally, I use the Too Faced Peach, Sweet Peach eyeshadow palette. I use Candy Peach as my blush because I haven't been able to find a nice peachy blush that applies so perfectly. And then I just use a floofy little brush, and I put a little on it, and I dab it. And then little circles to get the makeup applied evenly. By little, I mean whatever you think. Whatever size circles you think you need on your face, I guess. Just dab the makeup on. Sometimes if I think I've applied a little too much, I make sure I wipe the brush off before I go into my little blending circles. And then I do a little bit on the tip of my nose. Doing some makeup on the tip of your nose does make you look a little more animated, which I'm a big fan of. And instead of swooshing out, I like to swoosh inwards. Because this is not an everyday makeup, this is a costume makeup, unless this is how you choose to do your makeup every day, which I totally support. So that is our blush, and we look so sweet. Next, we are going to be working on the lips. For the lips, you're going to need a pink lipstick, a concealer, a spongy brush, and then at your discretion, some lip gloss. So I'm going to start by applying, it's a very bright lipstick, and then I'm gonna use just a little, oh, I use this on concealer, oops. That's fine, it's a necessary step actually. So make sure that it's applied nice and evenly. Again, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really see it, but we're doing our best. So then I'm going to take my concealer, put a tiny bit on a spongy brush, I'm going to take a little bit more of this, put it on the brush. There we go. So it's just changing it up and moving it around depending on how much pink you want showing, how much concealer you want showing, or just putting lipstick on. It's totally up to you. And then I'm just going to put some lip gloss on because, I don't know, I feel like it'll be cute. So if you know me, you know I'm actually not a lip gloss person. I don't usually like it, but in this case, I think it suits her. So I am going to apply some mascara. I just use the Sephora brand mascara. It works pretty decently. I would probably wear false eyelashes for her if I was wearing it to like a convention or something. But in this case, I'm just planning on putting it on, making some TikToks, and then taking it off. So in this case, it would be a waste of a pair of fake lashes. Okay, so there's my mascara. I'm gonna do a little bit of highlighter. So I use the Violet Voss Donut Palette. I use this nice shiny one here. It's so pigmented. I do a little bit on my nose, a little bit on my cheeks, and then under my brow as well. Above the lip is not a necessary step unless you feel like putting it there. Honestly, this whole video is just not a necessary step. You pick and choose what you want. This is just my version of how I do my makeup for her. So I have to put my hair up for this next step because I'm going to be doing the mask. If I was just cosplaying just Marinette, this would be where I would stop. This would be my makeup for her. If you look at the character herself, she does have a lot of dark around her eyes. You could do a little white liner if you wanted. I'm not a big fan of white liner for her, but it's all due to preference. Everybody has their own way of doing things. I've got my little thingies in. So for the mask, I'm going to be using just a brush, preferably one you don't mind ruining, and I'm going to be using the Mariposa Matte Lip Stain. This stuff will straight up stain my face, but it's worth it. After we get the color on, I'm going to be switching over to a Snazaroo in black. It is a water-based makeup, so you will need a spray bottle and then another brush to do the little black markings on the mask. Let's get started. So she is dry, and now I'm just going to take my stuff. I'm going to spray my black makeup, take this little tiny brush, and then I'm going to start working away on the black. Okay, so I've got one little tiny edge that isn't great. I'm going to take my concealer and just a random tiny brush, put a little on it, apply it, and then take my sponge and I mean, like, hey, it's still not perfect, but it's better. Okay, hopefully I'm in focus. I'm gonna go put my wig and my costume on, and I will be back. I am back. Hello. This glove is very big. This glove has been resized to fit my hand. What can you do? So this is the finished look. I hope you guys like it. I like it. It suits my face. The brightness might be a little high. So that's all. That's all for today. That's all for this week's video. If you guys have any requests on stuff you'd like to see, please leave a comment and let me know. I love hearing from you, and I love your comments, and I love talking to you all. You're all so sweet. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye!